watching CNC3.
Wow, he's putting together a lovely sequence here. The 2025 Caribbean Premier League champions, TKR.
Good afternoon and welcome to you, Trinidad and Tobago, and wherever in the world you might be viewing this very special presentation by the Guardian Media Limited Sport Desk as we welcome home our heroes. As you may recall, last Thursday, Trinidad and Tobago experienced a joy it had not felt in almost a decade as Kishon Walcott and Jereme Richards delivered this country's first global track and field medals since 2017. 13 years after his first global title, Olympic gold in 2012, Walcott stood at the very top of the podium again, this time at the World Championships in Tokyo. Richards joined his compatriot in winner's row, earning silver in the men's 400 meters.
Concluding
on Thursday morning, Trinidad and Tobago was held in suspense as a quality field lined up in the men's javelin on the hunt for World Championship glory. It featured two-time world champion Anderson Peters of Grenada, reigning Olympic champion Ashraf Nadeem of Pakistan, 2020 Olympic champ Neeraj Chopra of India, and Kenya's 2015 world champion Julius Yego, all against Trinidad and Tobago's very own Kishon Walcott in the mix for the medals. American Curtis Johnson opened up with an 86.67 meter effort to throw down the gauntlet. Peters from Grenada answered back, his second throw landing 87.38 meters for the lead, but a temporary thrill for our Caribbean neighbors.
So, Kishon Walcott hoping to improve his performances in the World Championship. Oh, that's more like it. He's never won a World Championship medal before.
87.83 for Walcott, and then one by one they tried to better the boy from Toko. Nadeem, Chopra, Peters, none of them able to match, and then, as if just for fun, Walcott tickled the Tokyo audience.
Let's see if the Trinidadian and Tobagan can harness that. Wow. He's putting together a lovely sequence here.
88.16 meters put him out of touch once and for all.
There's only one colour left to be decided.
Peters settled for second and Johnson claimed the bronze. 13 years after his first global triumph.
He's a world champion now. More than a decade after he last tasted gold in London. What a night for the Trinidad and Tobago athlete.
Like, it's been a long 13 years, just being persistent. I always, since 2016 has been my last time on the podium. And the World Championship medal has always been out of my reach, but finally tonight I've gotten it. And I couldn't be more happy. I'm grateful to be able to deliver this medal for my country.
Minutes later, TNT was up for another medal, this time in the men's 400.
Jereme Richards was fourth in the Olympic final last year. I just mentioned he's the only finalist to have made closing stages here in Tokyo. Kiti Nene has been in great form this year. Could he back up those titles from his nation? The men's 400-meter final is away. Jereme Richards to Corey Patterson. Perhaps the athletes of the most decorated CVs find themselves on the inside. The stagger will unwind, and what will be the order at the moment? 80 meters to go. Kevin Achipi to the board. Jereme Richards driving in lane 2. Kevin Achipi, can he turn it into a gold medal for Botswana? Kevin Achipi becomes the first ever champion for Botswana.
Silver for the Dream in 43.72 and a new national record, Botswana's Busang Kevin Achipi. Too good in a world-leading time, 43.53, while another Botswanian, Bayapo Ndori, was third in 44.20. The feat of both TNT athletes, however, rang through the nation.
Great accomplishment by Jereme Richards, man.
And Kishon won the javelin.
That's a great accomplishment by these two Trinidadian and Trinbagonian athletes.
The government should do something fantastic for them. I don't know, give them a reward or something. I don't know.
As to what they should be awarded, I am not sure what the government position is, but it should be something memorable. I don't know what they should be rewarded with, but at least something tangible to show that the nation appreciate the representation.
Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar led tributes on behalf of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, calling Walcott a true representation of the resilience, strength and dedication of our people. And she praised Richards for his hard work, perseverance and dedication, saying, "We remain forever proud of his achievements."
We are proud of our athletes, as I would have said. So we will be meeting with Keyshawn on Sunday. I think he's landing around 1. Unless that changes, he should be landing around 1 p.m. So we will be there to greet him.
Any national holiday?
Not yet. We didn't discuss that.
Former government ministers such as former Minister of Sport Shamfa Cudjoe and former Minister of Finance Colm Imbert also congratulated both athletes. Both men are expected home today, and a grand arrival has been planned at the Piarco International Airport to celebrate those accomplishments. But while they are the world beaters, they will have to share the spotlight, if only momentarily today, and that's because of the events of last night.
The 2025 Caribbean Premier League champions, TKR.
It is deep right side as well. And Monroe, he takes it and judges it well. Yeah! Oh, there you go, straight after another break.
The Caribbean Premier League T20 champions for a record 5th time after last night's 3-wicket win over the Guyana Amazon Warriors. It was an expert performance by Nicholas Pooran and his men, who stifled the Warriors for just 130 for 8 from 20 overs. In the chase, Alex Hales fired 26, Colin Monroe made 23, and the eventual player of the tournament, that man, Kyron Pollard, lit up the 14th over, especially with 3 massive sixes. And as you saw earlier, it was Akil Hussain who hit the winning runs to get TKR over the line to that victory, which spells for them 5 titles. It means that they also expect to arrive here in Trinidad and Tobago from Guyana sometime today. Actually, that they may have landed already, and they are expected to bring the trophy along with them. Pooran Bravo, we expect, is in that contingent, as well as some of the other players. So we are here to bring you all of the developments and all of the reactions as things unfold at the Piarco Airport. And of course, it's expected to all culminate with the official welcome on behalf of the Trinidad and Tobago government of Jareem Richards and Keyshawn Walcott at the VIP lounge of the Piarco International Airport. So we'll have some exciting content there. Jovan Ravello is the man who's immersed in all of that, right, and that fanfare as we speak. And so he'll be filing some reports along with Doris Polo. And of course, here in studio, I am Jassy Marik, that will be bringing some of the reactions to with some of the athletes who would have been really close and have that personal experience and personal touch with both Keyshawn and Jareem, as well as those with links with the Trinbago Knight Riders team. Stay with us. We'll be taking a short break and returning soon.
Jareem Richards driving in rating.
Wow, he's putting together a lovely sequence here.
The 2025 Caribbean Premier League champions, TKR.
Tune in to Betterments with host Base, Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. for a program that educates and is solution-based. Base tackles the issues that matter to you, providing a platform to speak your mind and find solutions. That's Betterments with Base, with a focus on education and resolution. This is all about making things better for you. So if you want to make a difference and have your voice heard, tune into Freedom 106.5 FM and join us for Betterments with Base, Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Better for you. Only on Freedom 106.5 FM, where we believe that your voice matters. Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Make sure you have yourself a great invest week by viewing The Boss Report every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. during CNC3's The Morning Brew. You'll get sound financial advice, whether you're a new or experienced investor, when you view The Boss Report. CNC3, covering your world.
This is Mary. Mary has bills to pay and takes a chance parking in front of the building at the no parking sign. Mary returns to her car, and this is what happens. Mary decides to call when she's 5 minutes away to let her daughter know that she is close by. But Mary forgot one thing.
Second ticket for the day. I don't know, no? I really don't know. Well, I tell you.
After 2 tickets, Mary just isn't paying attention to her speed.
You see a fixed penalty noted, fixing speed like 15 kilometers. You have 30 years to pay, 15 years to contest.
It has short other people. Look at other people passing. All they ain't seen them. All they seen me, right? Eh? All they too wicked.
Don't be like Mary. Obey the laws of the road. A message from the TTPS.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Driving elated.
Wow, he's putting together a lovely sequence here.
The 2025 Caribbean Premier League champions, TKR.
Welcome back to this special presentation here on CNC3, of course, put on by the Guardian Media Sports Desk, as we anticipate the return of some of our heroes. Just about 24 hours ago, that would have been just 2 heroes, Kishon Walcott and Jareem Richards, but the exploits of the Trinbago Knight Riders last evening in Guyana has also put them on a train, or on a plane rather, back to Trinidad and Tobago. I'm joined by my colleague, of course, lead news gathering editor, Ryan Beatrice. Ryan, it is the story of the day, of course, magnified by TKR's exploits, and of course we expect all of the outcome and all of the reaction from the Piarco International Airport. But to see the euphoria that was felt last Thursday with Kishon and Jareem in Tokyo, Japan, and then last night the TKR, the Trinbago Knight Riders, able to add to that joy and that feeling of really euphoria and nostalgia even in Trinidad and Tobago. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think we've had this feeling for about 13 years. The last time I think we've been in such a euphoric mood in the country would have been when Kishon Walcott himself won that London 2012 Olympic gold medal. And yes, the country was on a high after the World Championships, but we always had one eye on that TKR final, because the team had been doing so well throughout the course of the Caribbean Premier League that you just felt that if they got to the final, they too also had a chance of Caribbean supremacy in this T20 championship. And it just all really came together in what was this fantastic week of sport for us in this country. And I think Trinidad and Tobago needed it. We needed a change of atmosphere. We needed a change of news cycle. And I think between the World Championships and the CPL, it really provided for it.
Yeah, the tensions are rife here in Trinidad and Tobago with all of the other issues, but this comes as a really timely reminder of the power of sport to really ease some of those tensions on the shoulders of the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago. And it is certainly why we will focus on it and carry this story through for as long as we can, because really and truly, as Ryan mentioned, that distraction is needed. It's necessary. But not only that, it is a celebration of the greatness of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the resilience of Kishon Walcott, the perseverance of Jareem Richards, all in one simple storyline that unfolded on one day. And of course, then the Trinbago Knight Riders able to also get back to the top of the mountain. They hadn't won the CPL in 5 years, since 2020. So
I think it's also very easy, Jassy, to underplay these incredible performances on the world stage. Our cameraman Ignatius Wharton and I remember being at Old Olympic House one time with the great Hazley Crawford, who won this country's first Olympic gold medal, and we were just conversing, and I never forget, Hazley Crawford said to us in that little huddle that we were having, he said, you win a World Championships gold medal, and it's pretty much you've won an Olympic gold medal, because that's the value of the World Championships. And it really comes at a time when Kishon Walcott was sort of fading, and a lot of people said, well, maybe this is a sunset of his career, and then he shows what he's made of. It came at a time when just before the CPL campaign, a lot of people were making fun of the TKR team, that they are a team of pensioners, and they too showed that at no matter what age or what stage of your career, that you can win championships as well. So I think this is an ideal opportunity for us to celebrate these three group of athletes who have really taken this country, and I don't mean this, it sounds cliche, but have taken us on the global stage.
Yeah, certainly they have, Ryan. It's interesting that you should point out that note about Kishon, because I think that was partly due to the fact that he arrived on the scene so young, 19 years old, remember, was his age when he won that Olympic gold in 2012. And so for him to toil for 13 years, and people sort of, as you mentioned, undervalue what he did 4 years later. To win a bronze medal in the following Olympics is something that has been pretty much unheard of in that field especially, and he was the only finalist able to make it back 4 years later and medal. And so we've come to expect so much, but to see him toil for 13 long years and then arrive at the pinnacle, arrive at the top of the podium again, is certainly a relief to him. It's a relief to us. I had the opportunity to speak to one of our most decorated athletes, Atto Bolden, asking him specifically about the feat that Kishon was able to achieve in Tokyo, and whether or not he still had life, looking specifically at the LA Games in 2028. This is what Atto had to say.
I think there is, and if there is going to be life, it's going to be, the impetus for it is going to be winning this gold, because I think he's going to look up and go, okay, so I am not going to necessarily win every meet on the Diamond League circuit, but as long as I time my seasons the way I timed my 2025 season, I am always going to have a chance at that podium. Realistically, he probably has at least another Worlds and another Olympics where he can consider himself competitive. But no matter what has happened before 2025, the result this year, I think is going to give him tons of motivation that, hey, no man has had, the amount of time that he is going to be trying to have in between Olympic goals or Olympic medals, I don't think. So 2012, 2028, yes, it's a wide span, but he's already shown that he's well capable.
Yeah, so that was Atto Bolden there expressing his thoughts on whether or not Kishon Walcott still has any life in him, and it's quite clearly expressed there that Atto believes that as long as Kishon can map out his seasons between now and the games in 2028 in LA, he certainly does have a chance to medal again. This is where I want to bring in one of our favorite sons of the soil in the track and field arena, and that's Marshall Cedeno, himself a former world champion and a part of that 2017 team alongside Jareem Richards that won gold in the 2017 games in London. Those were the world championships. Marshall Cedeno joins us on the line now. Marshall?
Hey, good afternoon, Jassy. Good afternoon, viewers.
Marshall, these two guys, Jareem and Kishon, would be, really close friends of you all. You all would have made countless national teams together. How did you feel experiencing and witnessing what they were able to achieve last Thursday?
Myself, me, Kishon, Dream, we've been friends since the junior days. We came through the ranks together, curved the CAC games, all the junior meets, and seeing Dream and Kishon, achieve what they achieved last week Tuesday was something incredible. That, as you said, that lift the spirit for everyone in Trinidad. Where we seeing so much negatives, and we actually had opportunity to bring some positivity to the Trinidad Forum.
Marshall, Atto spoke there about that toil in the vineyard of wanting to climb the mountain again after slumping down perhaps to the valley. And both athletes expressed what that has been for them, that daily grind, physically, mentally. Talk us through your own experiences with that, whether it be through injury or even just wanting to prove yourself on that global stage once more. The toll it can take on you before you eventually, get to that promised land, so to speak.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Sports is something that's definitely mental. Although you have the ability and the talent, you still have to put in that work, and you still have to overcome injuries. And as an athlete, we all deal with injuries. We all deal with shortcomings. And as an elite athlete, you must have the ability to overcome and to get better and to go back out on the track and do what you're supposed to do and grind. And that's what we saw with Kishon and Dream. Kishon didn't medal since 2016, and I've been in the gym with Kishon, and he's been putting in the work in the elite gym in Port of Spain. And Kishon is somebody that when you watch him train, it's somebody you can admire. He is a monster in the gym, and his work ethic, and same with Dream. They're crazy. Their work ethic are crazy high, and that is the motivation, especially for the younger generation, to two guys, who's like a pillar in Trinidad sports that you can look up to and be motivated to be just like.
Marshall, at this stage, I want to ask you just to touch on what Atto was saying and whether, in the life cycle. Atto said. Okay, in the life cycle of an athlete, we come to expect something every 4 years or every 2 years in the case of the World Championships. And what Atto was just basically saying is, to go 13 years without a major global medal or a major global title rather, and another 9 years without a global medal, it's certainly not an easy feat to achieve. Do you think that Kishon at 32 now, given this wind in his sails from this World Championship title, can go on to progress and give us another 3 to 4 years at that level?
For sure, Kishon, once he stay healthy, he takes care of his body, and he keep his mind focused and he keep his mind in the game. I think that 2026 Olympics, 28. It's definitely possible that we got a medal from him again. He's just that type of athlete. He works hard. He puts in the work.
All right, so we continue to celebrate and anticipate the return home of Kishon Walcott and Dream Richards from the World Championships. Marshall, I want to thank you, but we will be back with some more perspective from him. Here's what Atto Bolden had to say about Dream's accomplishments in that Tokyo race, that 400-meter men's final, where he was able to overcome the disappointment of just last year finishing 4th by fractions of a second in the Olympic final to really put it back all on the line and accomplish what he's been searching for, a World Championship medal.
I think Dream Richards has gotten more out of his athletic ability than any other track and field athlete I have ever seen in the history of our country. Because Jareem is not, if you're talking about like NFL draft, Jareem is not necessarily a first round draft, and I start to look at his body of work and I go, he has a collection of medals that nobody else in our country's history has. He has world indoor gold. He has 200-meter world championship medal. He has a 400-meter world championship medal. And of course, he was part of that brilliant relay and all the other stuff that he's done. It really is, look, if this is his last medal, and we hope it's not, it has been an amazing career for Jareem. And I will stand, as I did in the stadium, and salute his efforts.
And I can tell you, coming from one of our most decorated athletes, Ato Boldon, with 4 Olympic gold medals and 4 World Championship medals, including a gold in the 200 in 1997, that certainly is no small accomplishment. Don't forget, guys, we continue to anticipate both the arrival of Jareem Richards as well as Keyshawn Walcott, but I can tell you that the Trinbago Knight Riders, the victorious Trinbago Knight Riders, they have also since touched down in Piarco, and we'll have some live reaction there after this short break.
Jareem Richards driving elated.
Wow, he's putting together a lovely sequence here.
The 2025 Caribbean Premier League champions, TKR.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Here.
The 2025 Caribbean Premier League champions, TKR.
So we are witnessing the VIP lounge at the Piarco International Airport, where in just about a few minutes from now, maybe 15 to 20, we expect the arrival of world champion in the men's javelin, Keyshawn Walcott, and silver medalist in the men's 400-meter, Jareem Richards. Of course, feats that they both would have accomplished just a few short days ago on last Thursday. But I can also tell you that the TKR team, the victorious Trinbago Knight Riders, in this year's CPL, having captured a 5th and a record 5th title at that in Guyana, they have also arrived at Piarco, and our man Jovan Ravello, senior reporter, has been on the move there to get some of the reactions as it all unfolds at Piarco.
In what is a week of great patriotism here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a double celebration. Last evening, the TKR won their 5th CPL title, a record-extending 5th CPL title. Of course, Keyshawn Walcott and Jareem Richards are returning from the Tokyo World Championships with a gold and a silver. We're here at the Piarco International Airport, and we present to you the first interview with Dwayne Bravo.
It's a great feeling, and this means a lot to the nation. You know, we had a mission. We feel very bad that for the last 5 years we was not able to pull it over. But at the same time, CPL is a very competitive tournament. And, you know, we're happy that, you know, we redeem ourselves, and you know, credit to all the players, definitely, and all to our fans who supported us. And there was a lot of fans who fly over for the playoffs as well. So this is for the nation.
Champion as head coach now, champion as a player as well. How does this feel personally for you?
It's a great achievement. I'm early stage in my coaching career, and to win my first title in my 3rd tournament. And especially the first is always a special one, and to do it with TKR, the team is very close to my heart. It means a lot, you know. The first person to do it as a player and as a coach, so that is something that you know, the first you always cherish the most. But I think I gotta give all the credit to my teammates. These guys really deserve all the accolades, especially our captain, Nicholas Puran. He did a fantastic job. It's his first CPL, so us, the players, the staff, everybody wanted to do it for him. You know, Pollard, the player of the tournament, gotta say congratulations to him. Yes, he wasn't the captain, but his leadership on and off the field goes a long way. And yeah, Sunil Narang, Andrew Russell, Monroe, all these guys I'm just happy that we are able to pull it off for our people.
Just on a banter point, sorry, the last time you all played Guyana at the stadium, there were some, kind of shaky circumstances. How do you feel now? Does it feel like a revenge mission finally completed against the Amazon Warriors?
I would say revenge. Obviously, Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago always have a big rivalry. Both nations are very cricket crazy. They beat us in the finals a few years ago, and this one definitely we want to make sure that we're still the best in the Caribbean, but only to do that they have to win. And like I said, it took us 5 years. I know for sure it's not going to be that long again. And as you said, the trophy is back home, so we're going to cherish it. We're going to enjoy this moment, and look forward to next season.
One question for me, Dwayne. I'm sure you all would have heard what Keyshawn Walcott, Jerry Richards would have done last week. So this has been a memorable week for TNT Sports.
Yeah.
Did you all pay attention and talk about that? And did you all, that inspire you all at all?
Yeah, of course. Even myself, I share it on my social media platform. Newly appointed sports ambassador, and I think it's important for me to get involved from a administration level and to drive sports and culture into this country. I believe sports is the way out for the youths, and also not only the way out, but it gives the country a boost. You look at CPL, you look at the football recently in the National Stadium, and then what Keyshawn and these guys did. Sports unite the country. And I think people need to understand that, and it's important that facilities and infrastructure are put in place and programs and systems to back our athletes, because those are the ones who put their blood, sweat and tears on the line, and in return the country benefits. So it's a good week. It's a good week for Trinidad and Tobago, and
thanks. Man.
It's good. Thank you.
Really poignant and compelling statements from the man who calls himself Sir Champion, a champion indeed, able to do it a sixth time, as including his time as a player and now as a coach. But he also made mention of the historic nature of this title, it being the first under the captaincy of Nicholas Pooran, who we also spoke to a few moments ago.
Captaincy is a lot of stress and headache, especially around CPL time, and expectations as well. But this last 4 weeks our group is a really special group. It's got a youth and experience. For me, the best thing you can do is go in the part of the team. For me, it's really easy. It's right up there. For me personally, I've waited 16 years to sit in the CPL. Like I said last night, my first international game was in Providence against Guyana. Obviously, to lift the title there is a really special feeling for me.
How does this moment right now feel being able to return to Trinidad and Tobago with the CPL trophy?
Yeah, this week is really special for Trinidad, right? With Republic Day being a couple of days away. Obviously, the Ray and Keyshawn getting medals in the World Championship, and then the TKR to come and win the CPL. It's an amazing week. And for us, obviously, the welcome back home has been really special for us. And I just feel like we just didn't win the CPL, but it was for the entire Trinidad and Tobago. The games we played here, everyone came out and supported us. And this month has been really nice.
Can you explain the naysayers?
Sorry?
Can you explain the naysayers?
I think I said enough last night, but for me, age is just a number. When we pick this squad, a lot of guys come to us out, and the guys' time is done, they're old, trying to give the other guys opportunity. But these guys constantly prove why they are legends of the game. Age is just a number, and experience is something you can't buy.
Tell us about the journey this year to the title, from the first match until winning.
Yeah, from inception, it felt we were dominant for the tournament, and then coming back in the tournament, we lost a couple of games, lost some momentum, and we found ourselves in a eliminator game, and as a group we had to obviously sit and reevaluate, reflect on what has gone right for us and what has gone wrong, and we had to take the hard road, but I just believe that in life, if you want something, you have to work hard for it, and we had to really work hard going into Guyana. We know how style that crowd could be, and we knew we had to win 3 out of 3 games to be successful, and that's what we did.
Kyron Pollard, if I could just ask a question. Kyron Pollard would have spoken immediately after the victory. And what he commented on was the boos that you guys received as well as West Indies' performance. He sort of hinted at it. What are your thoughts on what he said concerning the lack of support for TKR as a Caribbean team?
Yeah, I heard what he said, and he's absolutely right. It's too long now where we continue to hate on our own people. When the region is really small, we compete with the rest of the world, and yet still, when someone is great and doing really well, yet still we find a way to bring them down. And for us, that's really disappointed. The boos, we could tolerate it as players, but from our fans' perspective, we still represent West Indies at some point in our career, and the same people will support us. So why don't we play for Trinidad versus Guyana or any other islands? And they're booing us, so they're booing him especially. And that's really disappointing. I just think that sports bring everyone together. The CPL brings everyone together, and we see that. We see the love, especially in Trinidad and Guyana, where the fans come out. And instead of we using that for hatred or trying to bring someone down, at the end of the day, human beings, we can come together as one.
Just on like, when you get the spirituality from, because I see you always spiritual, where do you get that aspect? Like, when did it come
Yeah. But 10 years ago, when I almost lost my life in that accident, I don't believe I should be here doing what I'm doing now. God has given me a second chance, and I'm just really happy to be in this position. To show the world the talent He's blessed me with. For me, I just want to continue to put smiles on my fans' faces and show the world what my God has done for me. So, like I say, I'm spiritual, but I'm just a believer. I'm just really happy that I can continue to do what I love to do.
What are you looking for?
The title, what are the highlights for you from the tournament?
For me, it's just how we come together. Different people from all over the world. We had guys from New Zealand, Australia, Pakistan. We all came together for one goal. And at the end of the day, it was to be successful. And that's what we did.
So some really major statements there by Nicholas Pooran, stressing on the need for us as a region, regardless of similar tournaments to the CPL and other regional competitions, that we need to really and truly remain as united as possible for the greater good, which is West Indies cricket. But certainly you can hear the joy and the relief in his voice as a young captain leading the CPL, the TKR rather, to a first ever CPL title under his captaincy. Now, don't remember, this is a dual celebration. We continue to anticipate the arrival of world champion in the men's javelin, Kishore Walcott, and his very good friend and countryman, Kareem Richards, who claimed a silver in the men's 400 meter. And of course, they will be received officially by the government of Trinidad and Tobago, led by the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, which is headed by Philip Watts. He would have been in Guyana on hand to witness TKR's success last evening, and I am told he was on the first flight out this morning so that he could be here to welcome home the TKR team. Jovan Ravello is also on spot at the airport, and of course he is standing by to just paint us a picture of what we can expect to see and what is the latest coming out of the VIP lounge.
Thanks, Jassy. Well, we're here at a more sedate surroundings here at the VIP lounge of the Piarco International Airport, where we're expecting the arrival of those athletes from the World Championships in Tokyo. In Tokyo, in about a couple of minutes. They're supposed to be here at 2:16. As you noticed downstairs, there was Tassa playing, but up here is a bit more reserved, a bit more sedate, as the members of the government have been slowly arriving. Minister of Sport Philip Watts, as well as the Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Sport, David Naked, have arrived. We have the TTOC President, as well as members of the N3As and coaches, etc., other stakeholders. So while it may not have been a big celebration as in 2012, we're now looking forward to seeing those athletes and celebrating them once again for bringing glory to Trinidad and Tobago. For now, that's it for me here at the VIP lounge of the Piarco International Airport, and it's back to you in studio.
All right, thank you so very much, Jovan. We'll certainly be checking back in closer to when those proceedings begin, those official proceedings, welcome proceedings for those two athletes. Now, I have on the line with me the president of the National Athletics Association, that's Mr. Ephraim Surratt. Now, he would have been with the Trinidad and Tobago contingent in Japan, and he's making his way back to TNT as well at this time. We've caught up with him on a layover, I understand, in Houston, Texas. Mr. Surratt, thank you for taking the time. And first of all, let me get just right into things. You know, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions on being able to witness firsthand what those two gentlemen were able to achieve a couple of days ago.
Thank you, Jesse. Again, it's always a great feeling when you travel with a team and they are successful. 2012, 2017, and all those performances. So, and then this year in Japan, it was a timely performance by the two athletes. We had, for the first time, a very small team. Coming into office, we have developed a plan, strategy looking at moving forward to 2028. So we have stuff in place looking at rebuilding our relay teams. At this time, our best team that is shaping up is our women's 4x1. We have approximately 8 of the females who are doing well. And I mean, once they stay healthy throughout the next quadrennial, we should be doing well in the women's 4x1. Put together the 4x1 men, 4x4 men, and a possible 4x4 mixed relay. In the women, we have Leah Bertrand. We have 4 athletes at University of Georgia. That's the Frederick twins and the Ray sisters. We also have in Jamaica, we have Bascom, Shaniqua Bascom, as well as Alexi Henry, who are both in Jamaica. And then we have Reese Webster, who moved on to Auburn University. So the women are looking pretty good. And once we get the necessary support to have these teams prepared properly as we move forward to 2028 next year, Commonwealth Games, Pan Am Games, 2027, we have World Championships, you know, at least 2 camps per year and some competitions for the athletes. I think we should be on a good pathway going for the next quadrennial.
Interesting that you should bring that up, Mr. Surratt, and you speak of support. There is news currently going around of NGC's discontinuance of the partnership, a long-standing partnership and sponsorship of the N3As and track and field. Do you have any immediate reaction?
Well, yes, they have terminated, and not just track and field, but other areas that they were sponsoring, steel bands and whatever. So this, for me, is a timely result for the association so that we can, you know, see other sponsorship. While in Tokyo, I had a discussion with some individuals who are willing to work with the association to, you know, get us on that pathway, you know, with respect to sponsorship. They were pleased with the 4-member team coming out with the 2 medals. And I and the board continues to work to see how we can get the necessary funding for our athletes to prepare them properly so that they can represent Trinidad and Tobago and have these receptions every time they go out to perform.
Mentioned, you know, it being a timely intervention on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago track and field by Jareem and Kishon. You know, what immediate plans do you see, or would you like to see, you know, kick off to ensure that, you know, what you're speaking about, that in the future games that are to come, we will have similar receptions for successful and victorious athletes? Because, you know, it would have been 2 Olympic Games on the trot, and I believe 3, or this would have been the 4th World Championship had it gone that way without a medal. Dwindling contingents, dwindling team sizes, etc. And it certainly is still cause for concern, even given the result. You know, so what are some of the immediate things that you think must happen in order for us to capitalize on this momentum?
Well, the thing is, we have to stop. In Trinidad and Tobago, we have multiple programs, you know, running parallel programs. We need to sit with the NGBs, you know, and have that development pathway, working with the NGBs. You know, how we develop the sport. We continue to compare oranges and apples, you know, what's happening in Jamaica and what's happening elsewhere. I mean, when you look at the medal table at the World Championships this year, you have countries like Great Britain. Trinidad and Tobago was 14th on the medal table. ahead of Great Britain and some Australia, some of the bigger countries that have a lot of resources. We don't have that. We don't have such resources. Our team funding was approved the week before this team traveled to Tokyo, which was very costly because you are required to send in your submissions 4 months in advance. At that time, the costing would have been, with tickets and that kind of thing, would have been much cheaper. But when you get approval 1 week, 2 weeks before the competition, it skyrockets the costing to attend the competition and the uncertainty of attending when you wait until that last minute to have the approval. So it's very difficult for us. Once we don't have funding in a timely manner, we try as best as possible to have our requests in and compliant with the Sport TT that is having the request at least 4 months in advance of the competition.
All right, Mr. Surratt, thank you. Your points are duly noted, and we certainly hope to catch up with you upon your return so that we can further air out some of these matters and certainly further discuss how the track and field, the sport of track and field, will progress. So we want to thank you for taking the time out, and may you have safe travels on your way back to Trinidad and Tobago. Now, for our viewing audience, you may have just seen a bit of some movement and some activity there at the VIP lounge in Piarco. We understand that the athletes are just beginning to arrive. We would have seen the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Sport, David Nackett, himself a former Trinidad and Tobago athlete in the realm of football. Of course, a short while in the picture just there would have been the CEO of the sport company, Mr. Jason Williams, who was also on hand in Guyana last evening to witness that TKR capture of their record extending 5th CPL title. So we continue to anticipate the arrivals of Jareem Richards and Kishon Walcott. There we see Ismail Mastrapa Lopez, who was the longtime coach of Kishon Walcott, of course, who would have coached him to those Olympic medals, gold in 2012 and bronze in 2016. So the dignitaries and some of the familiar faces have arrived all on hand to welcome and certainly to extend their hearty congratulations to those World Championship athletes who would have gone to represent the red, white, and black and done so with tremendous success in Tokyo, Japan. Jovan Ravello, as we mentioned, is on hand. So too is Darius Polo, and they'll be bringing all of that into a really some fulsome context later on in the major newscast here on CNC3, and definitely as we go on into producing our tomorrow's Guardian newspaper. These guys would have toiled, as mentioned, ad nauseum, not just today, but certainly after their respective successes in Tokyo. For years, Jareem Richards, last able to stand on the podium at the World Championships in 2017, and as Atto Bolden would have rightly pointed out some moments earlier in our program, it really is testament to the perseverance and certainly the resilience of Jareem to be able to, 8 years after he won that medal, add another World Championship medal to his already bulging catalogue. Kishon Walcott, as we already know, 13 years since winning gold in London, he's triumphed again on the world stage. And Atto even pointed out that the conditions in London 2012 were similar to that which were experienced in Tokyo, with a sudden weather change, and none of the other competitors, which, mind you, included the defending Olympic champion from Pakistan, the 2020 Olympic champion Neeraj out of India, the multiple world champion from Grenada, Anderson Peter. So it's no really small feat what Kishon was able to achieve and accomplish, to beat all of these world beaters in their own right and really and truly re-establish himself among the world's best in the men's javelin. It's all culminating in that really special welcome that we anticipate to begin in just a few moments. We'll take a short break and bring you back to scenes from the VIP lounge in the Piarco International Airport. In fact, I'm told that they may be just entering the room as we speak. So we are looking forward to seeing those athletes coming on in as we see more officials streaming in one by one. So again, we'll take that short break and return with more scenes from the Piarco International Airport VIP lounge.
Wow, he's putting together a lovely sequence here.
The 2025 Caribbean Premier League champions, TKR.
Make sure you have yourself a great invest week by viewing The Boss Report every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. during CNC3's The Morning Brew. You'll get sound financial advice, whether you're a new or experienced investor, when you view The Boss Report. CNC3, covering your world.
Volleyball filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio,
wow, he's putting together a lovely sequence here.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. We are taking you directly over to the Piarco International Airport, the VIP lounge, where Keyshawn Walcott and Jareem Richards are arriving at this moment.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand for the playing of the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. Seats. Honorable Philip Watts, Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs. Honorable Michelle Benjamin, Minister of Culture and Community Development. Honorable Wayne Sturge, Member of Parliament for Toko Sangre Grande, Minister of Defense and Minister in the Ministry of Homeland Security. Honorable Ernesto Kizar, Member of Parliament for Point Fortin. Ms. Gwyneth Ann Morris Alexander, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Culture and Community Development. Mr. Gabriel Jesu Mater, Acting Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. Mr. Rickson Powder, Technical Administrator of the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. Mr. Jason Williams, the CEO of the Sports Company of Trinidad and Tobago. I'd also like to recognize Mr. Aaron Henry, the Chairman and the Board of Airports Authority. And of course, to our World Championships medalists, Mr. Keyshawn Walcott and Mr. Jareem Richards. I would also like to quickly recognize other representatives from the Sports Company of Trinidad and Tobago and the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, as well as representatives from the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee and the National Association of Athletics Administration. Other specially invited guests, members of the media, good afternoon and welcome. So, I could say we do this fairly often. We come here and we welcome our national teams and we thank them for their service. But I must say that today, I think, is incredibly special. Because not only are we welcoming back members that have served the red, white, and black, but we are welcoming home champions who have conquered the entire world. It is no doubt that today is special. And I think I would just like to quickly bring some context as I welcome you on behalf of the sports company and the Ministry of Sport. I think I would like to probably sum up this achievement using 4 numbers. So we had a contingent of 4 athletes going out there and giving their best to bring glory to Trinidad and Tobago. The 3 colors that flew our national flag high: red, white, and black. 2 unbelievable performances for silver and gold that put the world on notice that a small island nation of Trinidad and Tobago can do big things. And 1 unforgettable day, September the 18th, 2025. Just a few hours ago, the sports company was opening its latest elite athlete gym in Kufa. The timing couldn't have been better as we gather here today to officially welcome home our champions. Kishon and Jareem, you have made the world stand and take notice of a people, of a nation of 1.4+ million people on the world stage. I would say the dream has become the reality. Thank you, gentlemen. And my thank you is extended to the entire team, the other athletes that put themselves on the line to give the best version of themselves, all the officials, the administrators, and the support teams, those that give human service but don't always get the frontline recognition. I'd just like to say one more thing. Jareem recently expressed the hope that our nation would appreciate the efforts that our athletes put out there following their groundbreaking performances on the 18th. Today, I feel proud as a Trinidadian and Tobagonian. I feel very confident that every trainee from Point Fortin to Toco to Tobago is indeed very proud of what you accomplished. I have no doubt. So, with that said, I would ask Mr. Paul Voisin, on behalf of the National Administration and National Association of Athletics Administrations, to say a few words on behalf of the team.
Pleasant good afternoon to all protocols observers. On behalf of the entries, I take this opportunity to welcome back all our athletes who took part in the World Championships in Tokyo. I know everybody have their 2 cents to say and whatnot. This is a trying times for the entries in terms of finance and the development. So we don't want to take away from the achievements of our athletes, but it's very difficult for us to handle this. I hope the ministers and sponsors and NGC and all those persons could rethink their position in assessing the development of these programs, because it's most important to us in that grassroots programs to develop, to bring it to this. Kishon Walcott, 13 years sacrifice didn't come just like that. Jerome's sacrifice didn't come overnight. It was a long-term investment. So we ought to remember that those investments should be looked at for the young ones that we have coming up. So I will leave the floor open for others, and entries are open for discussions in terms of supporting these programs. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Voisin. Now, I know you guys would have had long days of competition, long days of training, long days of travel, so I don't want to stretch this out too long. But I think it would be remiss of me if we were to go without hearing a few words from the guys who have done it all. So I invite Kishon, Jareem, just to say a few words to the public who have been, looking on with bated breath at your performances and celebrating afterwards.
Good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for everyone coming out here today to celebrate myself and Jareem and Leah, all the other team. All the 4 athletes that went out there to represent Trinidad and Tobago at the World Championship 2025. For me, I have to say that it's been a long, long journey of trying. After 2012, I believe that the World Championship should have come a lot easier. And I feel like if I'm to stand here today to tell anyone that being a professional athlete, being an athlete who is just vying for any sort of medal, whether it be Worlds, whether it be Olympics, it's not yours. And you could never go there and say that, okay, this medal belongs to me, I train hard, I do what I need to do, it's going to happen. I've been telling myself this for, as you can see, 13 years, that I deserve this medal, that this medal belongs with the rest of the medals that I have. And yeah, I had to wait, I had to be patient. Lots of injuries, lots of ups and downs, lots of time where I would tell myself that, you know what, maybe this is not it. As you see, many days, me and my shopper would be there, and we'll say, I always remember him telling me that, maybe you're Olympic child, and maybe everything is destined to be just Olympics, but we never gave up. We tried, and today I can stand here and tell myself that, yeah, I'm world champion.
Pleasant good afternoon, everyone. After that great statement from Kishon, I don't even know where to start, but it's been, for me also, likewise, a difficult few years. Some victories here, I would say, but in track and field, it's a sport where we judge it to the standard of the World Championships and the Olympic Games. Every other medal is just kind of a medal, and for me, it's been since 2017 since I got my last individual medal. And as an athlete, it becomes, as Kishon said, very, very difficult to have renewed faith going into competition all the time and leaving empty-handed, to reset the following year and tell yourself, well, you could do it. There were many times where I was like, well, sometimes as human beings, we would like to set the bar low so that you don't get disappointed. I was on the fence sometimes about that, feeling like, you know what, I don't want to set my hopes too high because I don't want to disappoint myself. I just say glory to God because I've been praying a lot. My family has been praying a lot. I've been working very hard, but praying and asking God to let my will align with His will. And glory to God, I was able to, be able to get a silver medal in the 400 meters after so many years, since 2017. It's a testament of faith, I would say. It just goes to show you just have to trust in God and be able to align with His plan. Sometimes His answer is no, and you have to be able to deal with that. Maybe He has something better for you. Maybe you're not prepared. And I was asking myself, am I not prepared for the blessings that you have for me? So it got me very internalized about thinking about, Lord, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to do it? And, all I could say is glory to God. I don't even feel like this medal is mine. I feel like it's God's medal, So I just want to say thank you. And last thing I would end with, track and field needs support, not just financially. The people that, and we appreciate each and every one that would, congratulate us and be proud. Be proud in the stadium, too, when we competing locally, please, because we see the type of performances that comes with a full crowd. I love to see the support for football. I love to see the support for cricket. But when it comes to track and field, We have national championships, we have local meets, and no one is there. The only people that come to these meets are the parents of athletes, the friends of athletes, or the athletes themselves. You know, so if we expect athletes to do well, it needs to start from home. We need to support, we need to come out and support these athletes. So I think it's very important that, yes, we celebrate all these medals, but we need the groundwork. We need the people to come out here and support us, because it's very important for us as athletes to perform and to have that support, to be part of our story and our journey also. So thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for so much for your heartfelt contributions, both in the sport and today at the podium. I think it means more than you know. And it's always wonderful when faith aligns with your success, especially after such a long time waiting, because you appreciate it all the more, and it tastes all the sweeter. I would like to say that it takes a village or a community to come to bring things together, to bring success. The athletes are the ones that have to go out there and execute it on the day. But there are many people that can be lost in the whole process. All of the administrators, the coaches like Mr. Mastrapa, even the elite teams, the physios, the psychologists, every person that you know, the massage therapists, the managers, every person that makes a contribution. And I have seen within recent months, even our sport development officers at all days and hours and nights putting in that hard work. You see in the emails flying in and out. Those things, maybe we forget to appreciate those sometimes, but it's important to recognize those. And I would say that we've had a few events in recent times. We opened Sangre Grande indoor facility recently. We had Honorable Minister Watts. We had Honorable Minister Sturge out there on the field enjoying sport like everybody else. We have a powerhouse in our Parliamentary Secretary, Mr. David Naked, who represented the national team with gusto and pride for so many years. We have Ms. Michelle Benjamin, who we called and we asked for assistance, and her team stepped up to contribute to what we are doing here today. And I just don't want those things to go unnoticed, that it takes everyone putting in their 2 cents for us to raise the dollars. And so saying that, I will go no further but to call on the Honorable Philip Watts, Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, to address our World Championships medalists and the crowd. Minister Watts.
All protocols observed. My parliamentary colleagues, PALSEC, representative from the Ministry of Sport and Sport TT, members of the media, good afternoon, everyone. What a proud day this is for Trinidad and Tobago. Today, we gather not just as fans, but as one family, one nation, celebrating 2 of our finest sons, Keyshawn Walcott and Jareem Richards. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Keyshawn, I've known you from the age of 12 years old. Yeah, 12 years old. And seeing you soar once again to the top of the podium with your gold medal has reminded us of the power of discipline, perseverance, and excellence. You have written yet another golden chapter in our nation's sporting story. And Jareem, your silver medal performance has been nothing short of inspiring. With courage, heart, and determination, you stood shoulder to shoulder with the world's best and brought home glory for Trinidad and Tobago. These victories will live in our history for generations. But, my friends, when we look at Keyshawn and Jareem, we see more than medals. we see possibilities. We see proof that given the right support, our young people can reach the highest heights and make our small nation shine at the world stage. As Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs, I want to emphasize this. Our government stands firmly with every athlete of Trinidad and Tobago. These achievements are built not only on sacrifice and dedication, but also on continued investment, mentorship, and opportunity. Under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, we remain committed to providing the programs, funding, and facilities that nature champions from grassroots to the global stage. The Prime Minister has asked me to assure you that your triumphs will inspire the nation and strengthen our determination to support every athlete who dares to dream big and work hard to achieve it. Whether you bring home gold, silver, bronze, or simply carry our red, white, and black with pride, know that your country is always behind you. What makes today so special is just not the medals, but the unity these athletes has inspired. Across our communities, in homes, schools, and workplaces, voices rose together in celebration. That is our Trini. That unity is priceless and is a gift sport continues to give us. So, Keishon and Jerim, we say thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice, your discipline, and for reminding us greatness truly lives here in Trinidad and Tobago. On behalf of the government, the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, and above all, the people of this nation, I extend my congratulations to you both. Trinidad and Tobago believes in you, celebrates you, and will always stand with you. Congratulations, champions. Today, tomorrow, and always. Thank you, and may God bless all our athletes of this nation.
Thank you, Minister. I can add not much more to that, but the full stop. So I know that my colleagues in the media may have questions that they would want to ask, but I also want to keep it in the context of the work and the competition that these gentlemen have done and the traveling that they have done. So I would like to keep it as briefly as possible so that they, to facilitate them being able to get some rest as well. So I would ask if you have any questions that we could do so now, but keeping that in mind as we do so. Go ahead.
Sean, Shereen. Fantastic, fantastic. Sean, last time I met you was when you were in my show on Sports Reel 15 years ago.
Yeah, come up fine.
Riza Basali, freelance sportscaster. You were part of a field that was certainly just incredible. 2 Olympic champions. A world champion, I think the Kenyan was a world champion. Chopra from India, Nadeem from Pakistan. These guys have thrown 90 meters in the past. What was your edge? What was your competitive edge over these guys, Kishore?
What you just said in the past. Like, if anybody knows, and you know that it's all about the day. Yeah. And if proof of my Olympic gold medal in 2012, you would also know that it doesn't matter what you did before, what you did after, it all matters between that 45 minutes. And in that 45 minutes, we had a plan, and the plan was to execute what I've been training for the entire season, and we did just that.
Okay, let me rewind that for you. Astil Ren, freelance journalist, welcome home. And thank you so much for that gold medal. My question is based on, a friend of mine told me last night, he said, Keishon won his first global medal way back in 2012. He said had he gone on and married, had children, he would have had a teenage boy or girl. 13 years. He told me, what is the passion, or what was the driving force that kept you on the road for 13 years? In 2025, you deliver a world gold medal. What was that driving force? What kept Keyshawn focused?
I love what I do. Like, I wake up, javelin is my passion. Outside of just winning medals, like, once I have the javelin in my hand, I enjoy. Like, I have fun. And at the end of the day, I'm still having fun. So being able to continue throughout, whether it be bad, good, like, it's been, and it's, at the end of the day, all athletes can attest to this, knowing that you're never going to be on top all of the time. And it's never going to always be what you want, it's never going to always be the results, but at the end of the day, I love competing, I love what I do. And as I said before, like, yes, we have been chasing this medal, but we've also been having fun in the process. So it's been 13 years of highs, low, but also fun, you know? So it's not just all about the medals. Because if I wake up every day thinking about medals, then I would have stopped a long time ago. You know, because it's not always like, I'm home now, the medal is already finished, so what's next, right? Like, I still have to continue. I still have to look forward to having a javelin in my hand for the next season. So it's not just about Worlds or Olympics, but it's also about what brings me, myself, enjoyment. And I'm still enjoying javelin for all the 13, 14 years, and I think for years to come as well.
I have one here. Keyshawn, Jovan Ravello from CNC3 Sport. I wanted to find out, what would you say would have been the turning point for you this season that would have spurred you on to the gold medal?
Health, which is most important. For the last couple of seasons, I've been struggling with a lot of injuries. As you can see, like, I was literally walking into the stadium when the final was about to happen, and I was telling myself that I was looking at the last World Championship final from the hospital where I had surgery on my Achilles in 2023. So just being able to walk in there and knowing that I'm blessed enough to be here after what I've been through, made a lot of changes in terms of just adding. We added Dr. Klaus from Germany to the team, which brought a lot of good technical changes. But the most important, I would say, is being healthy, being able to be stable, going into a championship and being able to know that, you know what, I'm not coming in here to guess. I'm coming in to know that I am able to perform and compete. So I think that's the most important part about it, knowing that the build-up of competitions throughout the last month or so, leading up to the World Championship, I knew that I was able to go out there and compete. Not just go there and say, oh, maybe I can throw, maybe I can't. No, I was able to know that I can go there and compete amongst the best in the world, you know?
Hi, Keyshawn. Over here, see me, right here. Jelani Beckles, Trinidad and Tobago Newsday. Keyshawn, two-part question. First of all, Olympics is 3 years away, Keyshawn. I know you mentioned that this will continue to give you the drive to compete. Will we see you in LA 2028? And that room, I heard you all were roommates, Keyshawn. What was special about that room? Did you bring part of that room back to Trinidad to continue the
This is part of the room.
Yeah.
You know, it's like 2028. At the end of the day, I would say everybody knows inside here that I'm no longer the youngest person in the room. But at the end of the day, our main focus is taking things year by year. So we're going to focus on next year, which is other competitions, CSC, Commonwealth, and we're going to move from there. So I would not allow myself to go into that place where I would think about Olympics in 2028, because why would I stress myself thinking about something that I have no control over? So not knowing if I would make it there or not, but yes, the goal would be to represent my country at LA. But at the end of the day, we have to take things that is in front of our faces first. So yeah, the main focus is 2026.
Clayton Clark, Guardian Media. Much has been said about it was only 4 athletes we had going to Tokyo. What advice would you give to probably the athletes, the clubs, the fraternity? I mean, I don't want to get involved in the politics of the sport. You're an athlete.
But you're asking the question.
Yes. What advice would you offer to the sport, the track and field community that you think will help to maybe get more athletes back up the next World Championships 2027?
We have a lot of participation in athletics. And I could tell you this today because like last year I started a small league and we had average at least 400 athletes competing. So it's not that the fact that there isn't athletes, but the middle is missing. And I can tell you that this is hard. Like, honestly, like nobody inside here would understand, jury would understand, but it's hard and it's very difficult. Like, it's not going to happen that this is 3 medals that everybody is competing for. And you're not going to say that it's going to happen by, okay, somebody, like myself, you say somebody falls out of the sky and it happens. It's not going to happen like this. So yeah, for me, I'm no expert. I cannot stand here and tell you what to do or tell anyone what to do when it comes to development, but I just know that we need development and we need a structure plan going towards knowing that we're going to work towards, not tomorrow, not the next day, but knowing that things are going to work towards long term in the future, because I've had a lot of experience when it comes to traveling and seeing different places and communicating with all the different countries, the teams, coaches. And one thing in there is in common is that they pay attention and they focus on development. They focus on not just the elite athletes that are there in front of them, but they focus on the ones to come next. And I think that if there's one thing that we are missing here is this, knowing that there's no middle ground. So like you find talent, Trinidad has so much talent, like so much talent, but at the end of the day, there's nobody's nurturing the talent. So hopefully things can change, but we can see, as you can see, 4 athletes on the team. It's not our biggest, but it's not always about quantity, you know. But hopefully things can move a lot better.
I have one for Jareem.
All right, we'll just take 2 more questions in the interest of time, all right? Jareem?
So, Jovan Ravello again. First individual medal in a while. Can you tell me what changed about your season? I know you had a really good season on the circuit, but what really helped you toward that medal?
What really helped me this season and what really changed, it was a situation where I took my hand off the driver wheel. I prayed a lot about this season, as I do every season, but I tend to sometimes ask God to take the wheel and then still kind of try to drive the car. You know, this was one of those years that I was like, you know, Lord, I'll allow you to work through me and, you know, let thy will be done. And it is hard as an athlete where you're in an environment where you have so much control of everything. And it was hard for me to submit. And I mean, I submitted and, you know, it brought me a medal. So glory to God.
Final question.
Yeah, Dream. One more final question. Ask the run again for freelance. What is that? My question is, lane 2, you ran over lane 2. It was a rainy day in Japan, and the track was extremely wet. I mean, was that a disadvantage for you when coming down to the final? Because seeing that you were drawn in lane 2, and that, I mean, and you were up against the weather, it was what was going through the mind of Dream Richards at that time? Was it, take us through that, the closing 50 meters?
Most would be very disappointed with lane 2. Thank God that I had a day in between the semi-final and the final to be able to run the race through my mind for a few times to, you know, possible outcomes. And my auntie Joy, reached out to me and you know, she sent me a scripture and she was like, you know, some put their trust in chariots and horses, but, you know, trust in the Lord. And she explained to me that the horses and chariots would be, you know, your own power, your own strength, and, you know, also the lane. You would say, well, this is a good lane, this is a bad lane. And she was like, you know, trust in God, just trust in God, and he would take you through. So I actually went out there very confident. The lane didn't matter to me. I've been training very well, and I knew my capability, and I just kind of trusted God in that moment. My coach also told me, he was like, kind of run it like a 4x4, 4x4 relay. Get better each 100, set yourself up, and be able to finish strong. And it's crazy that in a not preferred lane, it was the fastest time that I ever ran a personal best. I think it's the fastest time anybody has ever ran out of lane 2. So it's a testament to show that the capability is there, because I think in any other lane could be a different outcome. But I mean, still, glory to God, lane 2, 40, 43, 72. I mean, I can't ask for nothing else.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jareem. Thank you very much, Kishon. So we are at the point where we would like to make a presentation to the two athletes. I'm going to call on Courtney Clifford to please make the presentation to the athletes. We do it on the side. Yeah, this side. Yeah. All right, so now if we can have our officials in the front here to get a couple of shots with the athletes, and then we will invite the TTNA, the N3As and TTOC to join the shot as well. So, gentlemen, could you?
All right, so just as you see there, scenes from the VIP lounge at the Piako International Airport, where Jareem Richards and Kishon Walcott would have arrived from Tokyo, medals in hand from the World Championships that happened just a few days ago. Now, you would have heard from both athletes, you know, just laying bare their souls and laying bare their trials and tribulations on the way to this glorious accomplishment on each of their behalf. Now, Kishon would have stated that he was able to rid himself of the notion that because he was an Olympic champion in 2012, he was due a world championship medal. And once he was able to, you know, shirk that burden that he'd placed on himself, he was able to compete more freely. That, together with a few technical changes within his backroom staff, etc., allowed him to finally deliver on this world championship quest. Jareem, as well, sharing that, you know, his strengthened faith in his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was the driving factor behind his own accomplishments despite picking or being drawn into a non-preferred lane such as lane 2, where he eventually went on to establish a new national record, 43.72 seconds, to earn silver in that race. The Minister of Sport, Philip Watts, did not, as we perhaps might have anticipated, lean into any announcement of how these athletes would be rewarded. However, we do know that under the established National Rewards and Incentives Program, Keyshawn Walcott, it states that for a gold medal, a World Championship gold medal, Keyshawn Walcott should be due 500,000 TT dollars, and for his silver, Jareem could be in line for a check worth 250,000. That is the established figures. Those are the established figures, but we do not know just how this government would reward these athletes for their fine individual accomplishments just yet. We do expect to hear a bit more from Philip Watts as the proceedings continue at the Piarco International Airport. And don't forget, it's a dual celebration. Earlier, we would have brought you scenes as the Trinbago Knight Riders also touched down in Piarco, fresh after winning the record-extending 5th CPL title in that franchise's history. And that happened last night in Guyana, where they defeated the home team, the Guyana Amazon Warriors, quite handsomely in the end to break a 5-year drought themselves. Of course, we'll have further reactions and further developments out of the Piarco International Airport. And really and truly, both these two significant accomplishments, sporting accomplishments for Trinidad and Tobago. And as once again would like to remind you, we do have more. We do expect to bring you more scenes and certainly developments out of the Piarco International Airport, where just moments ago the official part of proceedings to welcome home Keyshawn Walcott and Jareem Richards would have ended. But for now, we'll take a short break and return with some more reactions and perspectives.
Jareem Richards driving elated. Wow, he's putting together a lovely sequence here. The 2025 Caribbean Premier League champions, TKR.
Volleyball filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Jareem Richards driving elated. Wow, he's putting together a lovely sequence here. The 2025 Caribbean Premier League champions, TKR.
TNT's Jareem Richards was assigned a tough inside lane in this morning's 400-meter final. But thousands of miles away, a proud family willed him on in Lakeview, Point Fortin. Of the 8 World Championship finalists, Jareem was third fastest in the semis.
The men's 400-meter final is
and the only finalist from last year's Olympic Games where he placed 4th. Those stats gave him good odds of a medal in Tokyo as well as in Point Fortin.
The stagger will unwind, and what will be the order at the moment? 80 metres to go. Kevin Achipi to the board. Doreen Richards driving in lane 2. Kevin Achipi, can he turn it into a gold medal for Botswana? Kevin Achipi becomes the first ever champion for Botswana at the World Athletics Championships.
When the dust settled, the congratulations from his family flowed.
And I must say that I am very proud of him. Not only because he's my nephew, because as far as I am concerned, he's one of the most consistent athletes we have in Trinidad and Tobago.
I just want to read something that I would have sent him to encourage him on Tuesday. And I would have indicated in track, it is facts that lane 4, 5, and 6 are the preferred lane. You know all too well the disadvantage of lane 9 as it cost you your Olympic medal. And I have heard that lane 1 and 2 are even more difficult lanes. Seldom do anyone win a race from those lanes. You, my son, must remember the name of the Lord your God. He is God over all the lanes and over this race.
Indeed, from lane 2 to the second rung on the podium meant the dream had delivered.
10 out of 10.
What do you think they should give them for their performance?
A nice house.
Point has always produced great athletes. We have a history of producing great footballers, basketballers, and this is just another part of showing the skill set and the excellence of Point Fontaine people.
I am very proud of him, and I always knew that he could do it, right? So, thumbs up to Jareem.
When we have the right support, financial, coaches, dedication, hard work, consistency, in any field, the Caribbean man, specifically Trinidadians, we can excel to the highest.
Point Fortin is indeed very proud of a son of the soil, Jareem Richards, silver medalist in the men's 400 meters at the World Championships in Tokyo. To get some reaction to how that borough has really taken to the news of Jareem's success, we are joined now by Mr. Eric McCrae, who is the head coach of one of the borough's most popular track and field clubs, the Point Fortin New Jets. Mr. McCrae, good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, President, even to Trinidad and Tobago and the entire sporting facility. Jareem, Kishon, Tyra, and Aliyah, I think they all made us proud of the World Stage. We went with a very slim team, and I think we did exceptionally well. But we have a problem with consistency and quantity at that international level. I don't want to stray too much into it. I just want to commend Jareem and Kishon and even Aliyah and Tyra, who didn't make it to the podium. They did an excellent job of making us proud. Jareem is always a very humble guy. He would come and train with us over the last few years. He's been coming down and spreading his wisdom with us on a few training sessions. And he has always been an inspiration to the entire team when he's around. And from that, he has aspired all through the years. Jareem has been aspiring to get to that level under extreme financial pressure. And sometimes it saddens me when an athlete reaches this pinnacle and the world could see him. All Trinidadians jump on board. Government ministers, everybody jump on board. But they are not there with you through the dark times. That attitude and behavior has to stop in Trinidad if we have to be more consistent on the world stage. It's about time we do like Jamaica and other Caribbean countries. We have a full team. We need to get capital input into sports and develop it from home, as Jamaica is doing and some of the other Caribbean countries are doing. We cannot just be going intermittently at the world stage with 2, 3, 4, then we might have 10 and then they drop off. We have to start to get our athletes homegrown. That would start basically with our secondary school system. That is how Jamaica is developed. When they most go off on scholarship. When most reach the age of 20, 21, 22, they spill off into clubs. That's how the club has a consistent flow of athletes.
All right, Mr. McRae, if you just allow me to interject here, because you know your points do actually align with what Kishon was just saying just a short while ago, that you know something seems to be wrong with that gap in between the development stages of these athletes' careers and getting onto that elite level, you know. And as a head coach yourself of a community-based club such as Point Fortin New Jets, is this something that you are able to agree with?
Of course, there is a very large gap. Okay, let's break it down. We have 200,000 given our population into sports. We break that up into fractions, football, cricket, basketball, whatever. And we end up with probably just 10% in track and field. That 10% might be about probably 500 to 300 athletes. We have a dropout rate at about how much? About nearly 50% or more. How do we cope with that dropout rate? Our administration has to get on board with that and see how we can align with the government, the business community, see how we can get them to make inputs to get the club healthier. A club doing that kind of work, the coach, he doesn't get paid. He has to be there every evening. There are demands on him from parents, the association, and he has to spend his money because the corporate people, the government has set systems in place where you can sponsor a team and claim it back in taxes. And in spite of that provision is there. Clubs will go to contractors who we are sure that they are getting and making money and they would not have. But when a medal is won at international level, everybody gets on board. That kind of behavior must stop if we have to go out there and perform in large quantities.
All right, Mr. McRae, certainly you make some really good arguments as it pertains to the reluctance that you obviously would have experienced yourself firsthand of corporate Trinidad and Tobago really lending the optimal support to driving sport, and in this instance, track and field in Trinidad and Tobago. You also spoke a little bit earlier about, you know, some of your interactions with Jareem as a Point Fortin native and his willingness to come back into the community and interact with some of the younger athletes coming through. You know, how much does that sort of approach from an elite athlete inspire? How much does it do to really showcase to some of those younger athletes, you know, the humbleness of him, and perhaps even exemplifying him as a mold to follow as they seek to really craft their own careers in the sport?
But what I can tell you is this: Jareem has not been for the last 2 years. He wasn't among us, but during the period that he came, we had Kashif King, we had Onal Mitchell. They made it to World Relays and World Games. So when he would come down, he was a very, very sound inspiration for the guys that were coming up there and up at character level and looking to get to the next stage, because they actually rubbing shoulders with somebody who was out there at the elite level. So that goes a long way in an aspiring athlete's mind. That, you know what I mean, is somebody of that stature is down training with them. They see that it's really simple. It just demands hard work and consistency.
All right, the words there of Eric McRae. We want to thank you for joining our special program, Mr. McRae, as we continue to really showcase and certainly explore some of the shortcomings that perhaps might deter young track and field athletes in their aspirations to emulate the likes of Jareem and Kishon. And certainly, of course, you've given us here at Guardian Media Limited really great insight into what is taking place, especially in a community as laden with talent, but as rural as Point Fortin. So thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to catch up with you in the very near future. Now, as we continue our program, you know, things have sort of dissipated, as we understand it, at the Piaco International Airport, the VIP room. However, the celebrations will continue, and we also do expect that there may be, or we are hearing that there may be a meeting between Jareem Kishon, the Minister of Sport, and potentially the Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, before the week is out, to certainly allow them the forum, not just to be congratulated even further on behalf of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, but certainly to air some of their thoughts on how we can get track and field back to where we are accustomed. Remember, these guys medaling in Tokyo in Japan last week would have broken a drought that almost stretched into a decade, 2017 being the last time that Trinidad and Tobago won a medal of any kind on a global stage, with Jareem Richards' bronze medal in men's 200 meter. And of course, who could forget that memorable 4x400 meter race and that team of which he was also a part that won the gold medal that time. Keyshawn Walcott is breaking his own personal drought of 9 years since he last won Olympic bronze in 2016 and 13 years since his Olympic triumph in 2012. It has all led to an extraordinary day and an extraordinary week of sporting accomplishments. Of course, those guys joined by the victorious Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders, who would have won the Caribbean Premier League last night in Guyana for the first time since 2020. Trinidad and Tobago is certainly on a sporting high, and we here at Guardian Media Limited certainly do intend to ride that wave as long as it lasts, and of course shine that spotlight where it needs to be to allow our athletes to have their time and their say on the front pages, certainly, of our dailies here in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Jassy Marik, and on behalf of the entire backroom staff that would have made this special program possible here today, I'd like to thank you for joining us, and certainly do hope that you stay with us throughout the day, and certainly in our flagship newscast at 7 p.m. And of course, do look out for tomorrow's Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for all of the stories and images coming out of the return of our heroes, Keyshawn Walcott, Jareem Richards, and the Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders.
Champions TKR.